Jai Shri Ram, and welcome to yet another episode of Indosphere Insights YouTube channel. My name is Kedar Pawar, and friends, in today's video, we will discuss about the recent protests in Western countries and the racism attacks that have been happening against the NRI community largely. So you must have seen a lot of protests are happening in countries like the UK, then Canada, Australia, New Zealand, okay, where people have come on the streets and they are completely against the immigrants who are coming there. And so why this is happening now is because we need to understand that the Western countries have been built on the foundation is based on capitalism. The ideology which was coined by Adam Smith, who is also known as the father of modern economics. And in this ideology, what happens is a large concentration of wealth is with very few individuals. So they build large corporations, and this large corporation sells their goods and services and makes a lot of profit. So, so what happens in this is, if you see, take an example of US, 5% of their top population has, I think, close to 70% of the nation's wealth. So it leads to a large scale inequality of distribution of wealth, and which then leads to government bringing in schemes, to rather cater to the masses and give them freebies. Okay, so that is exactly what has been happening in the Western countries, and due to this economic model, what has happened is, due to capitalism, they have killed their birth rates, and they have divided the families due to this. And now, if you see an American, uh, there are a lot of layoffs basically happening in America and all the other Western countries also, because this model cannot sustain, and they have now come. They are now having a debt of more than 37 trillion, specifically in US. We talk about, so when an American who's laid off, okay, when he looks at an NRI who's come from out, who's doing well, and who's working hard, earning money, who has a family, there's no division in the family, okay, the family culture is also going on, his savings are there, and he's basically having a good life. And vis-a-vis their hardships that they are going on, they don't have a job, and they are actually struggling to do their daily ends meet also, so that is where the envy starts, and you see these racism attacks that are happening basically. Okay, so my only advice to my brothers and sisters in these countries, the NRI community, is please take care, because in coming times these attacks are going to increase. And please be connected within your diaspora, and obviously with the Indian High Commission also in your respective countries, and keep meeting, and please don't give your political views outrightly on social media, because they will find one small reason, okay, which may not be that big reason also, but they'll create a huge cry out of it, and they will come after you all. So please take care. And if you recollect, the signs of this have been given by a lot of experts. Okay, to name a few is Ankit Shah, obviously. Then we had Sanjeev Sanyal also talking about it indirectly. Then we had our Prime Minister also, who had in his interview with Nikhil Kamath, he had he had clearly mentioned that Indians, or other NRIs, should have one foot in India as well, and if not, then you will regret. So all these were signs. Obviously, they cannot come on the screen and outrightly speak as how I am speaking to you all. Okay, so all these are signs. So please be aware of what is going around and what is happening around the world, because that is definitely going to affect the livelihood of yourself and your kids and your families. Because you are staying there. Okay, so please do take care, as I mentioned. Now, let's move to the next topic. Is why has Donald Trump softened his tone on when it comes to India? Okay, so I think it started from 2 weeks back. and with a tweet of his, and now you see the trade deal negotiators are in India as we speak, and they are negotiating basically. But in between, you are seeing some stupid comments which have been made by his administration. One of the members of his administration, Lutnick, is saying that why isn't India buying corn from United States? Well, if he needs to deep dive a little on how things work in India, it is estimated this year the annual corn production that we have is going to be I think 47 million tons, and the consumption that we do is 47.2 million tons. So why will we buy corn from you? We are already self-sustained in this, and even if we have to buy corn, we will go to countries like Mexico, or we can go to countries like Ukraine also. Okay, why will we buy your genetically modified corns? Okay, which will lead to health issues, rising blood pressures, then diabetes. So these are all the genetically modified seeds that you're feeding your citizens. So if you see videos on YouTube, folks, and I think I'll share a few links here as well. I saw a recent reel on Instagram wherein the person is showing the food labels of each and every item which is there in a supermarket, and it is clearly mentioned behind that it is a bioengineered food materials which are ingredients which are included in the food. So you can, I think you are smart enough to understand what I'm trying to say. And if we buy the same GMO seeds here, which they are pushing, or rather the deep state is pushing, you see the health effects that it is going to have on our citizens and our children. So I think we are blessed to have the prime minister that we have and the administration who is giving a very strong pushback against all these intentions, and but they're still trying hard. Okay, so we'll see how this goes off. We will definitely have a trade deal with US. There is no question of not having a trade deal, but they will definitely try to push all these agendas as well, specifically the deep state. So we'll see how things pan out. Now he's again wanting to come for the Quad summit. Earlier, Trump had mentioned that he didn't. He had cancelled his visit, but now he's wanting to come. So he understood the importance of doing this trade deal with India, specifically for his own political career as well, because next year he's going to have a midterm elections, and everyone knows what is going to be the outcome of it. With the way things are going currently. So damage control, but yet again trying to push their agenda of buying their seeds and things like that. So we need to be careful, and I think our administration is working in the right direction. Now you must have seen on the next topic is India is getting, or rather the relations with China is improving. Okay, so obviously it will improve. Why? Because understand, folks, that China is going to have a very brutal decoupling with US. Already the tariffs on Chinese products are high, and China being the world factory, it will have to find alternate markets, and it cannot ignore India, or it cannot have the kind of posturing it was doing to India. It cannot continue doing that. Okay, because it wants to benefit from the Indian markets. That is when you will see a lot of steps being taken. The Kailash Mansarovar Yatra has started. Direct flights are starting. Getting visas is going to be easy. So there is going to be a lot of people to people connect, which will happen with Chinese diaspora. So we will see relations improving, but that doesn't mean that China and India have become friends. Understand one thing, in geopolitics there are no permanent friends, or there are no there are just temporary alliances. Okay, so you align with the nation for your common goals, and that's about it. No one is friends in geopolitics. Okay, so that's how it is. So but you will see relations improving with China, and you will see a lot of FDI coming from China as well. Okay, so that's going to be the way forward there. And one more positive news that has come in is that in the next topic that I want to discuss is that Prime Minister Modi is playing a very critical role in doing a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. Okay? Now we all know the outcome. I had mentioned it in the previous videos as well. The outcome is fixed. Whatever Russia has, Russia will take that, and the remaining half of Ukraine is going to go to the US deep state companies, BlackRock, for rebuilding purposes. So that's going to be the outcome. Now, what is going to be the next, the hotspot reversing? Because as I mentioned in my previous videos, the four hotspots are going to reverse, right? First is obviously the Ukraine, Russia. Second is going to be India taking back the POK, China taking back Taiwan, and the last is going to be the Israel and Iran conflict, which are the new denuclearization of Iran, basically. With the way things are going currently, the focus is largely on the de-radicalization part. Okay, so I will not be surprised that India will be making some bold moves. And as you all know, that Operation Sindhu 2.0 is still due, right? It is not over. It is a temporary halt that is there. Okay, so we will be seeing some steps in that direction. Plus, we will also be seeing unknown gunmen back in action and completing the list that has been given to given to them, in our adversary nations, and they'll be taking care of that. Israel, on the other hand, you're seeing there how it is doing all the cleanup job, okay, and that is largely for the IMAC corridor, okay, and it is now also finished the entire leadership of Hamas in with the recent attack in Doha, okay, in Qatar, basically. Although all the Arab countries are criticizing it, but understand this: the Israeli jets were refueled by Qatar itself. Okay, so that's the kind of understanding the understanding that is there behind. So that's how things are going around. So, as I mentioned, this is a decade of change. A lot of changes are coming through, and let's be patient and understand India is the only bright spot in the world, because rest of the world has aged, and we have the population who can work hard and consume, okay, and run the engine of the world. So let's be very hopeful in that direction. I will stop here for now. We'll connect more as soon as there are more developments in this area. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.